I'm Mari Black, and this month I have for you a wonderful old Scottish retreat march. This tune is called McGregor of Rura. It's one of my new favorite tunes. I learned it from the wonderful harpist Maeve Gilchrist last summer, and have been playing it, getting it stuck in my head, in my dreams, all since then. So I thought I'd share it with you. Retreat marches are really fun. They're a different breed than other marches we've done on past tunes of the month. They are in 3/2 time, sometimes written in 3/4, but triple meter is the important part. And let's check it out. McGregor of Rura. 1, 2, 3. And if you're just listening, that's the tune. Hope you'll join us next month. And if you're ready to learn it, you know how this works. Grab your instrument and let's dive in. Okay, so here we are. We're in the key of A minor. And again, retreat march is in triple meter, 3/2 time. So that means if you're on a bowed string instrument, you've got a lot of flexibility with the bowing here. You saw me kind of messing around with different bowings. It's not as patterned as other tunes that are in duple meter that we've done. You just kind of want to keep generally down bows at the beginnings of sections and on significant strong beats. But there's lots of room to play in this tune, which is one of the reasons I really, really love it. All right, so before we start playing with bowing, and especially what I want to get into, ornamentation, let's get the melody down. So I'm going to play slowly the A section. I'm going to take for the moment all the ornaments out and leave us with just this beautiful, pure, simple, very haunting melody. See if you can follow along, hear the parts, and even start picking it out as I play this. 2 A sections a little slowly. 1, 2, 3. Part 1. Phrase 2. Third phrase, little variation. Ending. There you go. Did you already already start figuring it out? In fact, you could just rewind this video and learn it completely by ear with me playing it slowly as many times as you need, couldn't you? Always in the summer tunes of the month, we like to emphasize the learning quickly by ear without doing too much analysis. Just hear it and play it, sound it out. So this is a great one to practice on because it's so incredibly tuneful, and if you play along with it and sing along with it, it will get stuck in your head immediately, and then it's easy to translate into your fingers. So let's pretend that you've tried that, or maybe you're new to learning by ear, and in case it's helpful for you, I'm here to help break it down even more. So first phrase, we're in A minor, and this first phrase is a little, I call it a melodic palindrome. It's the same going up as it is coming down. Listen to it. 1, 2, 3. And it's a little kind of open pentatonic scale. So you pick those pitches out starting on the root of A. Try it again. 1, 2, 3. And it's the same rhythm both times. Now I have this kind of dotted rhythm. Pum, pa-long, long, pum, pa-long, long. And on a stringed instrument, especially if any of you are stringed instrument players out there, I suspect you are, I'm using less bow on the dotted rhythm on the little notes and a little more on the longer notes. Check it out. Little, long, long, little, long, long. It helps my bowing come out correctly. It also makes it so it has this nice gentle balance. All right. Now another thing, if you're on a stringed instrument, particularly a fiddle, I have the choice to use fourth finger or open string on that top, right? And I'm actually, to color the sound, using a little bit of each. A little bit of my fourth finger for warmth and to have room for an ornament that we'll get into in a moment. And I'm using a little bit of the open string for some brightness, right? The open string by itself would be too harsh. The fourth finger by itself would be too mellow. If I blend them, mix them together with a little double stop, it works very nicely. So you can experiment with that. All right, let's try it again. First phrase. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Little long, long, little long. Good. Hopefully you have that comfortably. If not, go ahead and rewind the video. I'll practice with you as many times as you like. But in real time, I'm going on to the second phrase. Second phrase is going to start the same way. But it extends up. Try it again. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying really hard to keep ornaments out. Sometimes they creep in. If you caught that one, don't worry about it. One more time. Second phrase. Sound it out. Pretty good. Third phrase. This is a very cool tune. Usually we'd see part 1, part 2, and the part 1 phrase would come back. It would repeat again in this place. Instead, McGregor of Rura does a little variation. Sounds like this. Try it again. Yeah, try with me. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 2, 3. Good. And now we go from there to the ending. I'll repeat that top note for a second. Yeah, try that with me. These are little pickups. 1, 2, 3. So that wonderful little ending. Everybody catch that using less bow, less sound, so it's a small gesture, big, little, long, long, right? And it's kind of a lower neighbor and then an upper neighbor. If you're tried to pick out those little notes, right? Lower neighbor tone being, there's my A, the lower neighbor is G, a step below, da da dum. The upper neighbor would be the B note, ba da dum. So this is a double neighbor ending. It goes lower neighbor, then upper. Listen. Try with me. Great. So that's the whole A section. That's it. That's the tune. So let's try the whole A, and just to put it all together, when in doubt, leave it out and sing along with me. Anytime I'm learning a tune, if my fingers don't exactly know where to go, I just start singing. My voice will take over, and then when my fingers know what to do, they join back in. This is always how I learn really tuneful melodies like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, little palindrome. Phrase 2, back up, all the way up, hop across. Third phrase. Down the scale. Ending. Double neighbor. Good. Repeat, palindrome. Second phrase, going up. Third phrase, variation. Ending. Not bad. So bowing, you notice I'm just making sure that I end up down bow at the beginning of each part. There's a lot of ways I can bow this. When I have little notes, right, like that kind of guy, I can slur that by twos. I can play separate. I can combine, which I often do. Slur, separate, right? And I kind of bow it a little differently every time, guys, if I'm being really honest. But I make sure that however I finish my section, I'm finishing it up bow, so the beginning of the next phrase starts down bow on the 1, on the downbeat. This tune is a little bit interesting because the downbeat, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A lot of times those can feel like pickups, and a 1, and a 1, but they're actually not. They are the downbeat according to the old pipe tablature that we have for this tune. So making sure that that lands down bow so it can be a strong beat, even if it's a very gentle strong beat, is really helpful. And then when I have little notes, I keep less bow, right? So they're nice and tidy, and the whole thing is just very gentle. That's the most important thing. It almost has an air-like quality if I'm playing this the way I want to hear it, right? Good. So that's the A section. Any repetitions you want to do, rewind is your friend. As many times as you want to practice, I am here for you. But let's go on and do a little B section before we come back and fancy everything up. Okay, I'll play the whole B section, and you're going to notice some things that will make you very happy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. 1, 2, 3. Phrase 2. Back to phrase 3 at the A section. Okay, good. So you heard it, right? That the whole second half of the B section is identical to the second half of the A section. We get it for free. Yes! And not only that, the first 2 phrases of the B section, which is the only new material we get here, they're basically identical to each other. Check it out. Here's first phrase. 1, 2, 3. Try that with me. 1, 2, 3. All right? So we have this little skip at the beginning up to the high A, Then down the scale. So simple, so tuneful, so beautiful when it opens up the top of the register like that. Do it again, phrase 1. Beautiful, I got great news. Here's the second phrase. There's only one note difference. At the very end, down the scale. And instead of repeating that note, hop across to the 5th of the G chord there. 5th root. That's it. Let's try first phrase and second phrase together, since they're basically identical. 1, 2, 3. Now play the second half of the A section. You already know it. Repeat the whole section. First phrase, down the scale. Second phrase, almost identical. Here's our variation. There you go. And that's the whole tune. You can rewind and practice the B section, get the melody in your ears. It is so tuneful. Just start singing it and your fingers will follow. Bowing, get down bow at the beginnings of sections. And even if that doesn't work out, it ends up being fine so long as you're bowing gently and beautifully. And it has that long, sing-songy, haunting, melodic vibe. Okay, so you could easily play that pure with not a single ornament and it would really work very well because the melody's just so compelling. But we all know when we think march, retreat march, we think bagpipes. And you heard in my first performance, what makes it so cool is all the space to be able to ornament and get really fun with that. All right, so let's do a crash course of bagpipe imitation ornamentation. Now, if you're gonna use only one ornament to sound as Scottish as you possibly can, that ornament, hands down, is the tap. All right, so I just did there at the end where it would be really obvious. Right, now we've done lots of taps in past Tune of the Month videos, but just in case you weren't around for the past 10 years that we've been doing these videos, amazing. What it means is I'm going to take this melody note for my violin as my first finger, and I'm going to tap the string with any available finger. Now, I personally, on the fiddle, like to use my 3rd and 4th finger for taps if I'm imitating the bagpipes, if I want something a little more percussive, which I do here. So that was a 3rd finger tap for me. You should try 3rd or 4th, they're both good. If you tap your 2nd finger, what's going to happen, because it's so close to the melody note of your first fingers, it's going to be a little more pitched and less percussive. That won't sound quite as bagpipey. So I save that for like my airs and waltzes where I want more melodic ornaments. Percussive ornaments, I want a little space between my melodic finger and my tapping finger. All right? A tap, by the way, you might know this ornament by another name. It's also called a flap in Scotland. The Irish call it a flick. I like the word tap, which is the Scottish name as well, because that's what my finger is doing. I'm tapping the string and coming away, right? I just tapped three notes in a row, 3 repeated notes on that first finger. In fact, let's do that together because that's a great way to practice this. Ready? 4 taps. Do it again, 4 taps. Good. Now I can also tap my open string. Try it. Play 4 A's and tap. Notice the same sound. I'm also using my 3rd finger to do that. I'd try 3rd and 4th if I were you. See what you like better. Everybody's hand is different. Try 4 open string taps. Go. 4 first finger taps. Go. Just for fun, put down a 2nd finger. We'll use C natural because we're in A minor. 4 2nd finger taps. And how about 4 taps on your 3rd finger, D note? Notice there, you have to tap with your 4th finger because it's the only one available, fiddlers. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so those are all the available taps. Now, if I have no other ornament and I want McGregor of Rura to sound as Scottish as I possibly can, I'm going to try to tap every note that I possibly can. Now we know ornaments go great on long notes and beginnings of groups. This march is wonderful because there are a lot of long notes, every single one of which is tappable. So let's play the A section of McGregor of Rura, and I'm going to ask you how many taps can you put into this A section. Now I actually haven't counted how many I could put in, so let's do it together. We're both going to maximize and keep count. How many possible taps do you have? Ready? 1, 2, 3. How many did you get in? I actually kind of lost count because I was so busy counting that I lost track of where it was. Maybe that happened to you, but did you notice there are a lot of them? Let's take just the first phrase for a second, that little palindrome. Well, if I do that, I have a tap right there at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 taps available. And that makes sense. There are 3 beats in each bar. That's 2 bars long. Let's try that. 6 taps. 2, 3. Yeah, not bad. Notice if I'm going to tap, I have to use the open string for that E. I can't use 4th finger because then there would be no finger available to tap. So if I want taps, I'm going to head towards the open string for the E note. Try it again. 6 taps. 1, 2. How about the second phrase? Try it. How many taps? Well, I found 6 there too. How about you? Try it again, second phrase. Not bad. Third phrase. How many do you think you're going to find? And the ending together because they just make sense together. And I also lost count, but do you hear there are a lot of them? Let's try that again. It's the whole second half of the A section, also the second half of the B section. How many taps can you do? Ready? And... quite a lot, isn't there? And, you know, this ornament is not foreign to non-bagpipers. But the thing that I notice the more I work on like developing my own imitation of bagpipes for tunes like this is the thing that's unusual is the density of ornaments. That ornamentation is one of the ways that bagpipers can most be expressive in their sound. Great Highland bagpipes are not a terribly expressive instrument because they can't do dynamics, right? Either the wind is on or the wind is off. There's no in between. So they don't have a lot of the superpowers that violinists or flutists or accordion players do to like taper notes and phrases. So they have to use ornamentation to show strong beats, to separate between repeated notes, basically any sort of expressive power. So they're using a lot of them. High density of ornamentation. And us non-bagpipers may not be totally used to doing many taps all in a row. But it's not hard. And once you make that leap of saying, well, how many could I actually do? And then practice them in phrase by phrase, it becomes really kind of easy. And suddenly you feel very fancy and bagpipey indeed. Okay, so now would be a great time to pause this video and to practice the A section, maybe one phrase at a time if this is newer to you. If you've done this sort of work before, just go through the whole A section a couple times and maximize how many taps can you do. Don't leave a single possibility out, all right? I'm gonna pretend that you paused the video. Maybe you did actually pause the video and practice. If so, good on you. I love practicing musicians. I am one myself. So that's great. We're gonna say you practiced that. Now, let's play the exact same game and put a different ornament type in. Let's put in a hammer-on. Now, a hammer-on, I think everybody has been exposed to, whether you know it by that name or not. A hammer-on is a single grace note from below the melody. So if my melody is the D note, I'm going to hammer on from below, a step below. Now that's a chromatic hammer-on. I'm using my C sharp a half step away. I could also use a whole step, my C natural. Now hammer-ons are so quick and light, you're not going to hear a whole lot of the pitch. So C natural or C sharp, it's going to just give it a slightly different flavor. And it's your choice. You could also do those are stepwise hammer-ons. You could also do a skipwise hammer-on from the B note below, right? Skipping from B to D. And that gives it a different flavor as well. So all those are legitimate choices for hammer-on. Now, if we went into doing every possible kind of hammer-on in every possible place in this tune, this video would be 5 hours long. Well, not 5, but maybe like 2. So we're just gonna say any hammer-on you wanna do. Stepwise, skipwise, chromatic, doesn't matter, all right? But we are gonna say that you're gonna hammer on every possible note. Now string players, think about it. If the hammer-on is a grace note from below, you cannot hammer on an open string, just like you cannot tap a 4th finger because you have an extra finger, right? Because the string crossing would gunk it up. So if I wanted to hammer on that E note, now I have to use the 4th finger. Make sense? Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. So that takes some concentration to see how many you can put in, right? Now there were some that to me, if I have a lot of repeated notes in a row, I don't want to hear a hammer on every time. For instance, I have those 4 E notes in a row in the melody. I'm sorry, there are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. If I hammer on every one of those, it sounds a little weird, a little sing-songy. I wouldn't do that out in the real world. But I would when I'm practicing, because I want my brain to recognize that all 3 of those are legitimate options. I might not do all 3 in the same pass through the A section, but I want to know that they're there, right? So I do the same thing as I did with my taps. I'd play the whole A section, maybe phrase by phrase, if I'm feeling comfortable, the whole thing, with maximum number of hammer-ons, even if it's a little tasteless, like on the repeated notes. Okay, so now would be a great time to pause the video and try that out for yourself. Okay, I'm gonna pretend that you paused it and practiced it because I think we've established that we're all wonderful practicing musicians here. Now comes the magic step. You've practiced your tap, you've practiced your hammer-on. Let's put them together. You may now use either the tap or the hammer-on on any of those long notes, but use the highest possible density. Do something on every available beat, 6 beats per phrase, all right? To demonstrate what I mean, I'll play just the first phrase of the A section. So what I did there was I tapped the beginning, tap, and then I did hammer on, tap, tap, hammer on, tap. Do you hear how that makes tremendous variety? Suddenly sounds very, very fancy. So tap, hammer on, tap, tap, hammer on, tap is how I did all 6. Try that with me. Try it again. 1, 2, tap, hammer on, tap, tap, hammer on, tap. that's not the way to do it, it's a way to do it. So you could come up with any other combination mixing hammer-ons and taps, and it would work very well. Did you catch the little trick that if I do hammer-on here, that's a fourth finger. If I do tap here, that's an open string. So I'm changing whether I play the E note with a fourth finger or an open string, depending on what ornament I want. Ha, sneaky, sneaky. But when you get used to that little mechanic, it works very well. Okay, so let's try it. Let's pretend you've practiced all that. You can even pause the video and preview each phrase mixing up if you want. But right now together, we're gonna play 2 whole A sections. You may use any ornaments that you like. I recommend combination of hammer-ons and taps. And high density through the whole A section. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Second phrase. How'd it go? Did you find some fun things? So the idea is that we're challenging your hand, your fingers, to find ornaments beyond what they would reach for naturally, right? I kind of call those in my head ornaments of convenience or default ornamentations. All of our hands have certain ornaments on certain fingers that they're really comfortable with. And they're like, oh, this one, that's great. My hand has defaults, your hand has different defaults, and it's great. What I always want to do with my tunes is push myself beyond just my default ornaments to discover ones that are available, but that my hand doesn't naturally reach for. And believe me, there are a lot of them. So this is the way to find those and thereby get a much more intricate set of options for your hands to do when you're doing something that wants a lot of density in the ornaments. Okay, so now's challenge mode. I'm gonna play the B section with you, putting in a mix of ornaments. Now, we're talking about how to practice finding this here. So I'm gonna say once more, pause this video and explore the B section. You know there are only 2 phrases that are actually new and they're basically the same, so this should be pretty quick. Pause the video and try just all the taps available in the B section and then all the hammer-ons. And heck, if you have another ornament that you'd like to use, like maybe a combo or a thrown roll or a scoop or a cascade. These are all ornaments, by the way, that we've done in past Tunes of the Month. So if you recognize those names, great, throw them in. If you don't recognize those names, great, go check out the Tunes of the Month where we worked on them, or use ornaments that you know, right? Maybe a different name that I'm not using, or maybe an ornament that I haven't even thought of here. Wiggles or warbles, the Cape Breton works great. Practice those, and then we're gonna play the whole B section together with a whole mass of ornaments. I'm gonna assume that you've practiced, at least as much as it feels good for you. Let's go to finish up 2 B sections with a maximum density of ornaments. That's the first goal. Secondary goal, maximum variety of ornaments, mixing in your taps and your hammer-ons so it's extra expressive. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go! How did it work? Pretty good? Did you feel very bagpipey? Very fancy? It's a fun way of playing, a fun way of exploring and adding new layers to a tune that is already very beautiful by itself, but has lots of space for this improvisational ornamental play. If you want some ideas about how to ornament the B section that aren't just out of your own head, you can just rewind and watch what I did. Copy those sounds. You'll hear it was mostly taps and hammer-ons. I threw a couple rolls in, and I think maybe one wiggle, not much else. They're very simple building blocks, but when put together in those kind of combinations, beautiful intricacy, and it sounds like I'm just going the whole time, you know, like bagpipes. All right, so hopefully this is fun for you to explore and you get a great tune out of it, McGregor of Rura. And I highly encourage you to take the skills that we're working here and like how to find the ornaments, but more importantly, how to practice finding the ornaments and then combining them. And do that on other tunes. Marches are great for this because there are often a lot of space in the tunes, often a lot of space left for ornamentation. Airs are also great for this. And you could do the same thing with your jigs or your strathspeys or your polkas or your reels. It really works excellent. This is how I practice all my ornamentation. So I challenge you to go and find this on any tune beyond and including, but beyond McGregor of Rura. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. This has been super fun. As always, if you would like to see sheet music for this and any future tunes of the month, please make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter. You can go to my website, www.mariblack.com, and sign up for the newsletter. If you're already signed up, you already have the sheet music for McGregor of Rura in your inbox. You're watching this in the future, I take it. Hope it's nice there. And if you're not yet subscribed to our little fiddle club, just go ahead and sign up for the newsletter, and all future tunes of the month will be coming your way as well. And this tune is a wonderful old tune that if you missed my handwritten sheet music on my newsletter, because you're in the future, you can go search things like thesession.org or the Traditional Tune Archive or any other great online tune resource and find a copy. So hope this has been fun. Love hanging out with you. Stick around, subscribe, and we'll have more tunes next month. Thanks, guys.